Recent events in the ruling National Democratic Congress has kept a lot of tongues wagging and minds thinking of how busily some high-ranking officers and former officers of the party are out there working out everything within their means to give the party a bitter pill to swallow come December 2012. His Excellency President Mills have remained immune to such needless distractions from founder and ex-President Rawlings. Persons who are still counting their losses from the Sunyani Congress have vowed to do everything possible to send the party into opposition. What has been the motivation of these persons and former President Rawlings? How possible would any true believer in democracy and the NDC question the decision of Congress, which remains the highest decision-making body of the party? What does Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings want to achieve by her demand for NDC logo and a possible formation of a new political party outside the NDC? With me tonight to answer these questions and many other from the perspective of the youth of the party is Fred Agbenyo, who is a parliamentary candidate for Hwehwe North Constituency and a member of the government communication team, and Peter Buama Otokuno, a youth activist of the ruling National Democratic Congress. Gentlemen, you're warmly welcome to Majority Caucus.
Thank you, Felix.
Thank you, Felix.
Yeah, I believe you had followed the events of May 15, where His Excellency, former President Rawlings, and then the founder of the NDC, made some comments, among which he spoke about the fact he spoke about what he perceives as the NDC having lost the high moral ground, and then saying that we are fighting an enemy on one side and a traitor on the other. And then he also said that the 31st December women's movement has actually been at the forefront of organizing women of the NDC party. And because of this, because of these reasons that he posted on May 15, he's not too excited of what is currently happening in the NDC. Let me begin with you, Fred Agbenyo. Has the NDC lost that moral high ground?
Well, Felix, thank you very much, and good evening to our viewers, especially our viewers from the Hwehwe North Constituency. I think it is pathetic. The situation in which we find ourselves as a political party is really very pathetic. As you have a father in the house, and then there are problems in the house. The father we are all supposed to run to help you resolve the problems now has turned himself into the problem. Then you wonder who is left for you to tend to. I have been very, very disappointed. I have been very worried. This is a man we call our founder, the man who inspired especially we the youth to join politics, and for that matter the National Democratic Congress. Some of us recall the things that we did very young, around 10, 15, 12 years. We were following from the PNDC days to the NDC days. We sacrificed, we were loyal to the then leadership. We did everything that we could to help Jerry John Rawlings and the NDC succeed. Today a new party comes into office. The same party comes into office and the different leadership. And then the story has changed. Rawlings has blasted Professor Mills from the word go. Called him names, insulted him, ridiculed him, condemned his appointees, said all manner of things that even opposition political parties wouldn't say about a ruling party. And sometimes you wonder what exactly is happening. You ask yourself, is it a mistake that His Excellency the President accepted to come and lead the National Democratic Congress? Is it the case that he imposed himself on the NDC, or that we all went to a Congress and then the delegates of the National Democratic Congress, in their wisdom, selected President Mills to be the one leading the party at this point in time? So if you had gone to Congress, you have elected him, all of us have put our hands together, worked through the campaign, and we had gotten victory. One would have expected that at this point all of us will come together and see how the better gun agenda that we promised the people of this country will be fulfilled. But unfortunately, people are talking about principles, moral high grounds, and you don't even know how to define some of these things, where to place them. Because when you look at the issues that are raised, vis-a-vis the very things the people themselves are doing, they've done in the past, then you wonder exactly what is it that people are clamoring for, are calling for.
Okay.
So for me, it is pathetic. And I think that really the time has come for all NDC followers, especially the youth, wherever they are in this country, to rise up and realize that NDC is for all of us. All of us are stakeholders in NDC. All of us are shareholders in NDC. And therefore, we must protect the National Democratic Congress. Yes, if NDC should go to opposition today, Mr. Rawlings and the family are not going to lose anything. It is you out there, you, the full soldier, crossing rivers, walking all over the place, sacrificing for NDC. Some of your colleagues even died. Some of them lose their limbs and what have you. You are the people that made this party succeed. Okay. We are the young ones. Okay. And that is a more reason today and now we must rise up and defend the party and not allow anybody to say that, well, I am growing old. I don't care what happens. I want to destroy the whole party and then go with it. Okay, I believe in them.
Okay, let me come to Peter. Peter, from greedy bastards to Konongo Kaya to Atamoshriman, and all kinds of euphemisms and all kinds of comparisons were made by former President Rawlings. And then the opposition parties, the NPP especially, has latched on some of this criticism by the founder till date to use that against the government. Do you think the ex-president Rawlings has been fair to the sitting president?
Elolo, I will make my submission rather more reluctantly. I would have preferred that we never reach this particular point. But listening to former President Rawlings and the former First Lady on May 15th, I couldn't help than to cry, shed tears, real tears. Why did I start crying? Because for once I saw that former President Rawlings had been reduced to ground zero. Our founder, former First Lady, have reduced themselves and politics in this country to ground zero. And I couldn't help it. I am very, very sure that anybody who listened to the speech on that day also cried in one way or the other. Why am I saying this? I recall somewhere in 88, I was somewhere around 9 years thereabout. Anytime former President Rawlings is announced to visit anywhere in Accra, unless I don't hear it, I would have to be there. In 1992, I couldn't vote. I didn't have a vote. There's no single rally held by the National Democratic Congress that I, Peter Boamo Tukuno, was not there. Talk of the Tony Park rally everywhere in Dansoman, I was all over. I recall that at a point in time, I was staying with my auntie. And one day I had to move to some rally. I didn't come home early. That day, I never got any food to eat for the whole day. I am sure there are thousands of people, millions of people who have sacrificed heavily from 1979 till now, who are still suffering. And I don't think they are taking lightly former President Rawlings and the wife working very hard to take our party into opposition. In 2008, when we were campaigning, there are people who got maimed, there are people who lost their properties, there are people who lost family members, there are people who lost their eyes, there are people who had several forms of accident. And watching an African election produced by Gareth Mers, I felt so sorry for all those people having listening to former President Rawlings and Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings. You clearly see that all the suffering, all the legworks that all of us did and are doing are being brought to nothing. Okay. And I think anybody in the National Democratic Congress will not take it lightly for what is going on.
Before we went on the break, you were narrating to us how many young people, as yourself, did everything possible to support the National Democratic Congress to come this far. The party had gone to Sunyani to Congress and elected a flag bearer in a contest that was open, that was free and fair to everybody. His Excellency President Mills bagged 69.7% of the votes, and then Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings backed 3.1% of the vote. Having clearly, that was a very decisive decision. Why do you think that from Sunyani till date, Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings who want to run outside the mandate and the constitution of the party?
Felix, first of all, I would want to say that there are a lot of our people who still have the hope that there is some hope for unity, or as it were, for former President Rawlings, for Nana Kunedu to join the campaign. I think that particular hope must be killed immediately, so that we unite and mobilize ourselves, ready without former President Rawlings to amass power in 2012. Otherwise, what we are going to do is that we, the youth of the party, we, those who do the legwork, are going to be left with nothing. I am very sure that on any day, if we are in opposition, former President Rawlings and the former First Lady are not going to suffer like we are going to suffer. I recall how we were intimidated when we were in opposition, to the extent that a young man called Kwesi Amache in 2004 was pasting an NDC poster on a wall. He saw President Kufuor's poster removed with some light white paper there, and he thought that he could use that place. He tried to remove that particular small paper and paste Professor Mills's picture there, and that ended that gentleman in some 6 years imprisonment, and he is now in Sawam prison.
That's shocking.
And all these people, all the suffering, all the tiredness was for nothing. I don't believe so. I think that we should be ready, mobilize ourselves. I mean, President Mills have done unprecedentedly well. We should look at the Green Book, the unprecedented achievements therein in just 3 years. How we've been able to transform the health sector, how we've been able to transform the transport sector, how we've been able to transform the educational sector. 2 universities in 3 years. Even former President Rawlings have admitted that when it comes to development, we have done unprecedentedly well. So but that is not what wins election, and that some ideals and so on and so forth, which obviously I know we have not in any way abused those ideals and principles.
He talks about monetization of the party.
If you look at the principles of the NDC, probity and accountability, these are principles which the president epitomizes. You cannot take it out of the president. The president is somebody who is very, very, very focused and keen on accountability and probity. And you cannot take it away from him. So I just always get very surprised, if not frightened and worried, that they keep on using probity and accountability as the basis to pursue this particular unholy agenda.
Okay, let me come to Fred. Fred, in the past, we've witnessed some of these skirmishes in the party. After the Kufridwa Congress, the Obeda Samoa camp left. The Reform Party also left somewhere in 2000. And then all manner of groups broke away. But the president, through his hard work, the unifier that he is, he's managed to bring all these people on board. Some way, somehow, they are all working towards building the better Ghana that we profess to build. How is it possible that in the midst of all these development and all this achievement, some people still think that they are better off than who the delegates in Sunyani decided to lead the party in the next elections?
Yeah, fellas, I think that it's important we situate this discussion in the proper context and perspective. That those of us sitting on this platform today are people who love Jerry John Rawlings and his family so dearly. We are people who have sacrificed in the past in our very small ways to protect that family, to defend that family. We have gone to the extent that we don't even care what happens to our dear lives. We have sacrificed our family values and everything because we believe in Jerry John Rawlings, his family, and what they believe in. And therefore, I wouldn't want to say where anybody would think that we have anything against the first family. Just as the Bible said, we should respect our parents that will live long on earth. If you read that same scripture down, it says that parents should not provoke children into hunger, so they are compelled to do things that they will not do. Where we are now, we are at the crossroad. It's as if you are in a boat. Somebody is trying very hard to sink the boat. When the boat sinks, all of us are going to die. And that is why young men and women, just as Rawlings rose up in 1979, when he was barely 31 years, and said, no, the path from which this country was going, that is not the way it must go. He rose up and took over the destiny of this country. That is what today we also want to do. That we are not going to allow ourselves to remain in the boat, sink and die in the boat. I don't think the many NDC viewers who are watching us today who want to sink and die in a boat when we can do something to salvage it. And that is why we are here today. I have said, and all of us will agree to that fact, that the National Democratic Congress, where it is today, it has grown beyond every single individual. Indeed, it is the biggest political movement in this country today. We have the largest following today. We have all come to accept the fact that human beings are not mortal, human beings are not stones. All of us will come and die and go. Jerry John Rawlings, his family, the current national executive, the current president, they are not going to remain there forever and ever. A day is going to come when all of them will demise, they go away. But the National Democratic Congress must remain. And that is why we must jealously protect that institution. I recall vividly well in 2000 when just the appointment of Jerry John Rawlings, the Guzitano and his group and the rest felt aggrieved, they felt that the process was not transparent enough, was not democratic enough. And of course, we can contest all those things in democratic perspective. And maybe they may be justifiable. But their reaction at the time was that they were leaving the NDC. The agenda was that we are collapsing the party because what we wanted, we didn't achieve it.
Everybody condemned that.
And at the time, I remember including Jerry John Rawlings, including the wife and all of us, condemned the behavior and the conduct of Guzitano and his people. They may have genuine concern, but what we thought at the time was that remain and let us solve it. Why are you leaving? We went to Koforidua Congress. We all remember the role of Bedasema. People like that, when some of us talk about them, we talk with heavy hearts. Because Bedasema at a point in time was more or less the prime minister in this country when Jerry John Rawlings was the president. Bedasema, we know he held two portfolios for almost a decade. He was the foreign minister, he was the minister of justice and attorney general. At the same time, he did almost everything. At a point in time in Koforidua, we saw what they went through. Eventually, they got so peeved and then they left the party. But the party remained united. I am saying that as we sit here today, we don't control our breaths. We don't know what will happen to us the next morning. All of us can go to bed and only God in heaven knows what will happen. So this thinking, this posture that, well, minus Rawlings and this is no more, it's a negative thinking that we must quickly erase from our minds. Because Rawlings, whether we like it or not, a time is going to come when we become too old that I cannot either move from his room or will not even be around at all.
Just like Nelson Mandela in South Africa.
That's right.
Now,
look at Nelson Mandela today.
Go public again.
It doesn't go public. It doesn't do anything. But the party is still moving on. And that is the way NDC must be built. I am saying today, if former President Rawlings thinks that he bought a plot of land that all of us as children have helped in putting up a house, and they said we have offended him, so he's going to collapse the whole building for all of us to die in that building, I can assure you that we'll hold him gently and protect him and put him aside and protect that building called the National Democratic Congress. The building must not collapse and kill the children. The children must live so that posterity will come and say that yes, we built something for them. And that is the spirit that must enter the NDC followers wherever they are in the country today. He's our founder. We cherish him. We want to see him still remaining the old man that all of us can rush to. Okay. Oh, old man, this is what is happening. What do? You advise us. But if you think that because we are aggrieved, so all of us must die and die with you, I don't think any responsible children will sit back and allow anything like that to happen.
Okay, let me come to Peter. Peter, in the past, of all the provocations that have been made against the president has never responded to any of them. In all instances, the president has remained focused and concentrated on what he's doing. And don't you think that it's about time all those unnecessary and incessant attacks on the person of the president stopped?
Yeah, I think that time is long overdue. But you recall that even in the third month of Professor Mills's reign, they started attacking him, saying that he has failed and they knew that he was going to lose. Just 3 months, when even the full government machinery was not in place, when he had not appointed ministers. So clearly, you see that this goes beyond the performance. What it points out is that it is more of a personal interest.
Okay.
It is more of what somebody really wants and is not getting. And the question we would have to ask ourselves is, what at all does Nana Kunudu want? What at all that former President Rawlings wants that they are not getting? When we are able to set some answers for ourselves, then we'll really understand that what we are seeing goes beyond the interest of any foot soldier, goes beyond the interest of any individual or anybody who thinks that former President Rawlings or Nana Akufo-Addo is fighting on his or her behalf. It goes far beyond it. Why am I saying that? If you look at before we won the 2008 elections, there were occasions where there were severe attacks on the personality of Professor Mills. There were times where an attempt was made to change him as the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress.
Even after he won the elections?
After he won the elections. There were times when they had a meeting, and in the meeting, he was attacked severely. All sort of invectives and attacks were thrown on him. He perceived. You recall that Nana Akufo-Addo sat on Joy FM and said that they were not going to treat the president with kid gloves. What was the reason? Because she nominated Betty Mould to be a running mate, and President Mills, being a man of himself, chose John Mahama as the running mate.
Let's go. You were on the floor and you were discussing why you think that the decision that former President Rawlings and the wife are taking is in the bad taste and is in the bad interest of the party. If you can continue from where you left.
Felix, clearly the decision by the former president and the wife is purely grounded on mischief and malice. Why am I saying that? If you look at all the reasons that they've raised, first they started that foot soldiers are not being taken care of, foot soldiers are crying, and so on and so forth. Now the foot soldiers kept quiet. It got to a point they said, foot soldiers said I should contest, I should become the flag bearer, and so on and so forth. We went to Tamale, and it was a supermassive endorsement of Professor Mills. She got 3.1. She got 90 votes out of over 2,000 delegates. Just 90 votes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 90 votes out of 2,000. Asunyani. Which shows clear disconnect, clear rejection of Nana Akufo-Addo by the same foot soldiers. Now, worst of it all, she came and attacked the integrity of the same foot soldiers you said were calling on you to come and contest by saying that they were paid to vote for Professor Mills. Meanwhile, the same foot soldiers voted for Professor Mills in 2006 to become the flag bearer before he became the president. That aside, now the new contest of claiming the logo, which I'm sure if we don't take care, she may bump into the studio and take the one at my back right now. Claiming the logo and all those things, what is the reason why she will be claiming the logo? So is she saying that now foot soldiers are calling on her to come and take the logo? You understand. This morning I listened to Kofi Adams and I couldn't help it. I was just totally thrown out of balance. Kofi Adams was saying that every day there are queue of foot soldiers and party chairmen, for example, who come to former President Rawlings lamenting and so on. So when they come and lament like that, former President Rawlings cannot help it, so he must come and mount the platform on radio and just throw anything and attack the president. And I was like, wow.
They come and lie.
Felix, even you, who is not a minister, me, who is not a minister, the number of foot soldiers who come to us on daily basis.
Yeah, we don't want to go into those discussions.
Are we going to start attacking the president on any day that anybody visits you that he wants help or he wants this? What kind of politics is that? What kind of joke is that? You understand? So it is totally untenable, the reasons they are giving. Now, we are being claimed to be traitors. Traitors in the sense that we are even worse than a perceived enemy. Now the MPP have become friends. Yeah. But you see, this thing is not far-fetched. Kofi Adams was caught on tape saying that he would do anything to make sure that we lose the 2012 elections. When the party took a decision to dismiss him temporarily, to suspend him, we saw what former President Rawlings said.
He condemned the decision.
He condemned the decision vehemently. It was on that condemnation that he said that President Mills is taking this country into an abyss. I mean, this cannot be somebody who wants you to maintain power. This cannot be somebody who wants a political party united for an election in 2012. When somebody is saying that he will do anything for the party to lose power, he will side with him and say all these things in addition. And subsequently, the wife will threaten the party that he will take the umbrella and will not even condemn it, but we will launch a platform and deliver a speech with a heading, "We are fighting a perceived enemy and a traitor, for which the traitor is you and I." The NDC constituency chairman at Ablekuma Central, the NDC constituency chairman at Sekendi Takrade, the NDC constituency chairman at Prisia Huni Valley. We have all become traitors
to build a party.
I recall just 3 weeks ago, I was in Prisia Huni Valley. The chairman Bedema, how he was struggling during the registration exercise to safeguard the people from bloating and getting foreigners registered, for protecting life and property, including a young man who was beaten by an MPP constituency secretary, beaten mercilessly. And he went into the middle to separate them, tried to take the matter up, and you are calling all these people traitors. I don't think they are going to take it lightly. I don't think they will smile at it. All that I'm saying is that the way forward, the future of the NDC, as a youth of the NDC, as an old man of the NDC, as a young man of the NDC, as anybody who is thinking of joining the NDC, I would want to assure them that it is about time that we rise up. It's about time that we forget any campaign machine, any election machine, which we think is a founder and is not immortal. We must forget them, rise and be ready to put our hearts together to campaign and make sure that we shame any individual who would want to use malice, distraction to destroy our party.
Okay, let me come to Fred.
I would finally have to say that I am just totally worried that my political mother and father, former President Rawlings and the wife. In fact, I grew up through their hands. Madam Kunedu, she was my political mother. She took me through the system. You understand? So it is very, very difficult to say all these things against her. But I can't help it.
The truth must be told.
The truth must be told. And we must all be ready to tell the truth right into the face of the people who would want to destroy this party.
Okay,
because that is the only thing that we have.
All right, thank you very much. Let me come to Fred. Fred, the way forward, the future of the party. When you look into the crystal ball, what do you see?
Well, I am very much convinced in my spirit. I believe that the good God in heaven that makes us kings. I believe that any institution, any group of people that put their trust in God in heaven, God will be able to see them through. I have so much confidence in the followers of the National Democratic Congress. I have so much confidence in the leadership of NDC that we have today. Those are the branch level, those are the constituency level, those are the national level, and those are the national levels. I believe so much in them. I know that all of us will rally behind ourselves and make sure that this party succeeds. What I want to say is that nobody should get discouraged, nobody should get disappointed. So is life. Even when Jesus Christ came, he had about 12 disciples. Among them was somebody who betrayed him. And therefore, we shouldn't be disappointed that at this point that we need our founder most, at this point that we need our founder and the wife and the family most, they want to reject us. They want to betray the cause that all of us stood and fought for in 2007. From 2000, when we lost the election, the cause that all of us fought for, they want to leave us at this point. They want to betray us. I know we can do it. Let all of us have that belief and that conviction.
The question on the minds of many of your followers, many of our supporters and followers, is that should it be about the collective interest of the party, or it should be about the whims and caprices of one or two people?
Well, my understanding of multi-party democracy, my understanding of democracy, even our domestic homes, there are days I wake up and I feel like eating fufu, and my wife said, "Oh, I feel like taking rice today." And I, is that what you want? Okay, then let's do that. Tomorrow, she buys it to me. And that is the whole concept of democracy. We are not in any kind of dictatorship, any kind of monarchy where one person vetoes and everybody is running and just doing without thinking. That is why we are different human beings. That's why we all don't think the same way. So once we have come together, We have gone to a Congress. Congress has taken a decision. It behoves on us as party members to respect that decision.
So as we speak, His Excellency the President is in the United States of America to address the G8 on food security. His Excellency the President, under whose leadership we are having these discussions, and then who is facing all these criticisms from Nana Akufo-Addo, Rawlings and her husband. The President has been ranked A+ in many a number of rankings in Africa. We talk about the East African magazine, the South House news company in the US, and even recently the African Capacity Building Index gave Ghana a #1. And the president is out there trying to sell Ghana as an attractive destination for doing business. Then whilst behind here, a few people think that no, because maybe they are not in power, they don't see things happening the way they want, and then maybe the advice that they give is not being taken, so the ship should collapse. Is that what we should be focusing on?
Fellas, sometimes I sit down and ponder over. I imagine, who is this man called Atamels at all? I pray sometimes, say, God, can I also be created patience, that heart, that tolerance? Because come to think of it, before the elections, what they said about him, the name calling, the condemnation, at the point in time our opponents are pushing him. They said the man was even dead in South Africa. The man came back, he hit the ground running, was campaigning here and there. Our party members were pulling him. We won election. They won. People were on the neck of this man. This man has never opened his mouth. The man has concentrated on the core social contract that is sent to of this country, of delivering on better Ghana. Investing in people, investing in infrastructure. The man is so focused on that. I ask myself, how does he do it? Is it not blood that is in him? The man is so determined, he's so focused, he has not allowed any of these things to distract him at all, and is still on course. I am not surprised that the whole world is recognizing him. I'm not surprised that under his stewardship, Ghana has been mentioned as the fastest growing economy in the world. And you ask yourself, this thing, do they come miraculously? How do they happen? So it tells you this man is not just the leader of Ghana by himself. God brought him for a purpose. And like they said, the life of a frog is not known until the frog is dead. Just as we did to Nkrumah in the past. When people were made to become, in quote, very blind, we couldn't read between the lines. The deceivers collected money from CIS and the rest. Years after Nkrumah's death, everybody today is crying for Nkrumah. And I believe that when this man finally will finish his second term in office, the people of this country would come to realize, wow, we had a leader. We are somebody who has brought sanity to the presidency, decency. Yes, it's as if the man is so ordinary. And that is what people don't understand. The man doesn't carry himself and lord himself for everybody.
Even when he goes out, he gets people so close to him.
So close to him. The man is so down to earth, so sober. I don't know. That is what is making people think that he's weak, he's feeble, he's somebody they can walk over.
But he has proven them wrong.
Yeah, you understand?
Proven them wrong.
And Feli, don't tell me that even confuses me.
On many occasions.
You understand? Yeah. You remember before the election, our colleagues, MPP, they were running an advert on television where you go and knock a door. You think that a quiet person is there, and then a soldier will come in, creating the impression that, well, a vote for males will be a vote for males. A vote for males will be a vote for Rawlings. Now the man has come and has distinguished himself that I am a man of my own. I am a leader. By 27 years, this man had PhD. 27 years lecturing at the university. So why would anybody think that it's just any ordinary person that could be pushed around and could be dictated to, that when people say sleep, then you sleep? No. Ghanaians voted for Mills. Mills' picture was on the ballot paper with several other people.
Respected.
And he ought to be respected by all. And the point I am making is that we were so loyal to the leadership from 81 to 2000 that there was no qualms. Who dare you to challenge?
Who born dog?
Who born dog? Who born you to challenge? We were so loyal to the extent that even the then vice president, 93 to 96, the late Aka, couldn't even challenge.
Okay, all right. Okay, we are in for another short break, and when we come back, the discussion continues, and then we open the phone lines for our viewers also to be part of this discussion on the future of the national democracy. Let me open the phone lines. You can call us now on 0302 211 701 or 0302 211-702. And as I always advise, our comments must be very civil and must be devoid of any tribal or ethnic undertones. The phone lines opened. Peter.
Felix, I would have to make this point that listening to Kofi Adams this morning, he was asked a question about whether there is a possibility of a formation of a new party. And the answer that he gave, I think any member of the NDC who is still having doubts that they are forming a new party should think again.
And we understand they're going to come out on the 2nd of June.
Yes, there are rumors like that. Some are saying 4th of June at Aflao. Some are saying...
Okay, we have our first caller. Hello, Amwa.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, Amwa.
Fine.
Okay, welcome to Majority Caucus.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And good evening to all your viewers.
Yeah, good evening.
In fact, the NDC is bigger than any individual. So as you know why the former First Lady, Rollins, will go and hide somewhere and register the name, the NDC logo in her name.
Okay.
In fact, it's very sorry, and in fact, I'm very sorry with the First Lady, with the former First Lady. But I'm also saying that the husband, former Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rollins, has also said that the traitors in the NDC. In fact, if we carefully examine these two people, the former First Lady and the husband, in fact, one can easily say that the First Lady is rather the enemy of the party, and then the husband is what? The traitor.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Amwa. Let me pick Ben. Hello, Ben.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Ben.
Yeah, my worry is, where are the elders of the party? Talk about this issue. Look at it has been left in the hands of the youth.
Okay.
And when Peter Otokuno mentioned that 1988 he was 9 years, I said, wow, it's a pity. What are the elders? I mean, the grown-ups. Where are they to handle this issue? It is left in your hands, and you think you can handle it the way you are doing? I'm sad.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Let me pick Richard. Hello, Richard.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Richard. You're welcome to Caucus.
And yes, thank you. And actually, thank your panels for the discussion.
Okay.
But sincerely, I'm calling from Bolga.
Okay.
And our president is doing well. We'll try and see if we can give him a second chance.
Okay.
I sincerely believe most of the policies of the NPP came in their second regime.
Yeah.
And I therefore think that this government is calling me the second time, and we will see what they can deliver.
Okay, thank you very much for your honest admission. Okay, let me pick Peter from Akachi. Hello, Peter.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Peter.
Yeah, my problem, I don't think Lawrence has a problem with the NDC. It's rather the wife.
Okay.
So you people should, but we need them. We need to talk to them, so we go forward.
Okay, all right, okay.
Let's stop the accusation and the use of all this. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Yeah, Peter.
Yeah, Felix. So I am.
Well, I have another caller. Hello, Ibrahim.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Ibrahim.
Yeah, I'm calling from Nigeria, Abio City.
From Nigeria, Abio City. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would just advise, the youth that if even the Jerry Rollins is having malice with our president, we are not having any malice with him. So we are not going to talk anything against him, but we leave everything to God.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, thank you very much, Ibrahim, calling from Nigeria. Yeah, let me pick Aziz from Wa. Hello, Aziz.
Hello, is this your guy, Aziz Donla?
Oh, yeah, Aziz, welcome to Majority Caucus.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much for the wonderful work you have been doing for us. In fact, we are grateful to you. But we want to just tell the good people of this nation, they should know whom President Moss is. Because Ghana is for all of us.
Okay.
And we need to move Ghana to a different level. That is what President Moss is doing.
Okay.
If you go around the whole country, you can see that things are moving very well for us. Look at our economy, the infrastructure, a lot of things are going on. So we are thanking President Moss. He should continue and he should be well focused.
Okay.
It shouldn't mind the unlawful critics coming from the opposition.
Okay.
We are sure that come December 7th, the good people of this nation will retain the mandate of President Moss.
Okay, thank you very much.
What he's doing for us.
Okay, thank you very much, Aziz. Thank you so much. Let me pick Nana Kofi from Wassa. Hello, Nana Kofi.
Yeah, I'm speaking from Marcel Cropon.
Okay, welcome to Majority Caucus, Nana.
Yeah, thank you. For your Majority Caucus, I don't see the reason why you shouldn't appreciate the President Lawrence and his wife. Because they were the founder of the party. And as at this time, they have the right to speak out. Because when a leader of your party speaks out, and then you people do condemn it, that means it's against the rules, because you can't sit down with your father when your father speaks, then you take away your father's idea. So you have to obey the rules of the President Lawrence so that the party can move on. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Nana Kofi, calling from Wassa, Ekropong. Yeah, Pete.
I was
okay, quick one.
I think that it's important once again for us to remind our viewers that if they recall, since we came into office, none of us have ever come openly on radio and television to challenge anything the founder of our party said. We always look up to him as the founder of our party and our grandfather and father for that matter, and we thought we were always taking good counsel from him. But where we have gotten to now, it is important for them to appreciate it. That we have gotten to 7 months to elections. And this they said they are going to form a new political party. They said the logo that the NDC has been using for well over 18 years, they are collecting it from us.
To form
they
the new party.
should appreciate what is happening. It's not as if we take delight in coming to sit on television and challenge our father. Our father wants to collapse a building all of us are living in.
Let me come to Peter. By forming the new party, it means that the NDC now, under President Mills, will now have to fight that party and fight the opposition parties as well.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that would be the situation. But as I was saying, I was just amazed at the response of Kofi Adams. He said that he wouldn't rule that one out, so it is possible it will happen.
Like
so viewers shouldn't be surprised.
A civil war in 1994.
Exactly. So the viewers shouldn't be surprised if there is any new party. I listened to Gabi Ochidako last Wednesday, and he made a very, very interesting point. I think Kofi Adams, who have been speaking to Gabi Ochidako, promising him of their support to make sure that we lose the election, should listen to Gabi on Wednesday, saying that in his view, he thinks that President Rawlings enjoys carrying his own luggage at the airport. You recall when his diplomatic courtesies were withdrawn, he carries his own bag, he goes through the normal route, he doesn't use the VVIP lounge and so on and so forth. And Gabi is saying that he thinks that former President Rawlings enjoys that. That is food for thought. They should be thinking about it. So indeed, if we lose power, it is just obvious that he will start carrying his bag again. Because I know that since we came into power, he's not carrying his bag at the airport.
But Akumia says that Konedu is printing her posters in Italy.
Yes.
How did you get to know that?
Yes. I mean, they know every single thing. There was a point when what's the name? Owusu Bempa was arrested. Do you know that it was Sir John who went to beg on his behalf?
So you mean the MPP
General Secretary?
Okay.
And as we speak, about 2 months ago, 3 pickups were released by the MPP to the Fonka group, Owusu Bempa and Co., so that they can do their movements around and destroy the president.
So you see a grand conspiracy between the new Patriotic Party
and that former President Rawlings, for the first time, having attended President Kufuor's launch of his so-called ideological institute, former President Rawlings was there, and you recall the statement that he made. You understand? Subsequently, he said that right now it is the opposition that are coming to his defense. So right now, they feel more comfortable with the MPP than the NDC. And I think this is very weird. We must open our eyes. I am saying that with 7 months to election, we shouldn't deceive ourselves. Especially when they are saying that they are forming a new party. Especially when they have registered the NDC logo in one person's name, Nana Kunedu. I think we should be thinking about something. But I will always say that thanks to Professor Mills, we have been able to perform unprecedentedly well in terms of the achievements that we've been able to do. Go to Jirapa, go to Karaga, go to Ko, go to Lambusi. For the first time, they are seeing new polyclinics.
Even yesterday, the Vice President commissioned
the hospital,
the Buipe, Shenat,
the Shenat industry and so on in the northern region. You also recall, just this week, we have been able to claim the Temaship yard. Today, we need another FPSO to make sure that we get our oil up and sell them and use them and so on and so forth.
These are the things
and with Professor Mills' vision, we've been able to claim the Tema shipyard, which is going to help us build another FPSO.
Let me give Fred
you
1
understand?
minute. Fred,
this is what the people of Ghana vote for you for.
Okay, all right. Fred,
you
have
understand?
1 minute.
Well, Felix, I don't think I want to say much again. I just want to use this opportunity to appeal to all our NDC followers out there that where we are is no more a child's play. One of your callers said, how come the youth who are talking? It is the youth
much affected
who started the National Democratic Congress. I remember mentioning in my earlier submission that Rawlings was barely 31 years when he became a head of state.
Okay.
He has always moved the youth. This party belongs to us more today than Rawlings, than Professor Mills, than Nana Konedu, than Asedun Ketia, than any of them.
Yeah.
It is our future. Yeah. And that is why we must rise up and defend it.
Okay.
So if we are going to sit back and say that they are not talking about it, they are not doing anything, who will do it?
Okay, all
and
right.
it's important to say in conclusion that former President Rawlings is the chairman of the Council of Elders. Okay. So if he's in this trouble, who do we go to?
Okay, all right. On that note, let me say thank you to my guests, Fred Kwesi Agbenyo, who is a parliamentary candidate aspirant at Hawkeye North Constituency, and Peter Buama Otokuno, who is a member of the government communication team and a youth activist of the National Democratic Congress. And then the advice is that this is the trump card. This is the trump card for the party to win the 2012 general elections. It's the Green Book. Let us go out there and propagate the good message of His Excellency President John Evans Atta Mills, so that together as a team we can win the 2012 general elections for the good people of Ghana.